This is our final spring concert, so I'm not going to get emotional about it because I'm so thrilled to be here, but I'm going to try not to get emotional about it. I want to express my thanks, first of all, to the parents for giving us your children this year and all the years in the past. It's just such a joy to work with them. At our height, the high school had over 60 students. That meant we had 12, 15 students in a section. This year we have about 20, and it's gone up and down a little bit. It doesn't matter whether I'm working with 60 students or 20 students. It gives me so much joy. It's always a challenge. It's always different. And the students are really fabulous. It's just been a wonderful experience. In Waldorf High School, for those of you who don't know, choral music is required for all students. So everybody is in the chorus. And this year, everybody's also in a cappella. I pretend they're two different groups, but they're all the same students. That means that we have students who come into chorus with absolutely no experience. It's terrifying. It feels like something they don't necessarily want to do. Maybe they feel inadequate, whatever. Then we have students who come into chorus and they've sung a lot before and they love singing. And the merging of those two groups is what you're going to see today. And let me tell you, we have some students who have come such a long distance. And I'm just so proud of every single one of them. Their willingness to take risks, to learn to sing in 3- and 4-part harmony, in a few rehearsals every week is just amazing. I think it has allowed the students, both the talented, experienced ones and the ones who've come newly into this, allowed them to really grow musically. It's one thing to sing when you've got a big section holding you up. It's another thing when you're one of 2 or 3 students. And some days we have a rehearsal and we only have 2 altos or 3 sopranos. So it's really been pretty amazing. Tonight's program is divided into 2 parts. So we're starting with a cappella, as you can see. And in a cappella, we sing a variety of much lighter pieces. And then these same students will leave and they'll come back in as our Waldorf School chorus. So may I remind you all, please, before we get started, to silence your phones or devices or anything that's going to compete with our beautiful music. We're starting a cappella with a song from Nigeria, West Africa. It's a song in the Yoruba language, and during the 19th century, hundreds of thousands of people from Nigeria were loaded into slave ships and brought to the New World, so to speak. Today, there are descendants of those slaves in Brazil, and Cuba, and Trinidad, and the United States, and Canada, and all kinds of other places. And in many African American churches, this song that we're about to sing is sung as a regular part of their music. The words mean that which the Creator has made can never be destroyed. I don't think I need to say anything more about it. It's just really such a wonderful classic African harmony that's fun to dig into.
Ishe Oluwa, Kolema
tuba, and the next song is in Yorta Yorta. This is a song from the Aboriginal Yorta Yorta tribe, and that's their language. It was made famous in a wonderful movie called The Sapphires that came out in 2012. If none of you have had a chance to see it, it's really a fabulous film about these 4 Yorta Yorta women who were singing this song in kind of a country fair, and they were heard by a talent scout, and the story is what happened to them afterwards. So you hear this song throughout that film. The text of the text of the song comes from an African-American song about Pharaoh's army drowning in the Red Sea with Moses parting the waters with the help of the Creator. Nagara Bora Pharaoh.
Waraka Moses yen yen walla, walla yen puri yen push, marabura fera yumina yalla, nalabura fera yumina yalla yalla, nalabura fera yumina yalla yalla, nalabura fera yumina, bura fera yumina, bura fera yumina yalla.
Marabura fera yumina yalla,
Nalabura fera yumina yalla yalla, Nalabura fera yumina yalla yalla, Nalabura fera yumina, bura fera yumina, bura fera yumina yalla yalla, Nalabura fera yumina yalla yalla, Nalabura fera yumina yalla yalla, Nalabura fera yumina, bura fera yumina, bura fera yumina yalla yalla.
One of the most challenging rounds we've ever attempted. And we did a really tricky one last year. This one I thought, I don't know if we can pull this off. These guys are fabulous. It's in 5 parts, and as the title suggests, it's based on scat jazz singing. So it's the human voice imitating other instruments. It was written by a composer, Daniel Paget, from New York City, who's a very talented, highly regarded musician and composer.
Do-be-do-wah, do-be-do-wah, be-do-be-wah, do-do-do-be-wah, do-wah-wah, wah-wah, be-do-be-do-be-do-wah, wah-wah, do-wah, be-do-be-ah, do-be-do-wah, do-be-do-wah, do-do-do-be-do-wah, do-do-do-be-do-wah.
Okay, next is a classic pop song, Lollipop. Written in 1958, it was made famous by the Cornettes, who were a fantastic American female quartet, and we've just had a lot of fun singing this piece.
lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, pop, ba-dum, bum, bum, lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, pop, ba-dum, bum, bum. Call my baby lollipop, tell you why, 'cause it's just sweeter than an apple pie. And when he does a shaky rocking dance, then I haven't got a chance. I call him lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, pop, ba-dum, bum, bum. Sweeter than candy on a stick, huckleberry, cherry, or lime. If you had a choice, he'd be your pick, but the lollipop is my lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, pop, ba-dum, bum, bum. Crazy way he thrills me, tell you why, just like a lightning from the sky. He loves to kiss me till I can't see straight. Gee, my lollipop is great. I call him lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, pop, ba-dum, bum, bum. Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, pop.
Our last a cappella piece is one that we've sung many, many times in Waldorf a cappella, and we didn't actually work on it this year, because I thought, oh, well, and then when we found out this was the last year, we absolutely have to do it. So this is The Parting Glass. It's a folk song that dates back to the 1770s, and it's claimed both by Ireland and Scotland. It's a tradition, apparently, I've never heard of anybody who's had this happen to them, but that's what I'm told. It's a tradition that when you're leaving the pub, this will be sung to you on your way out. So it's for a guest who's leaving, and Waldorf a cappella invites you to join us for Parting Glass after the concert. begin with a vocal warm-up. This is something that I learned from Irene Guild. Some of you may remember her. She's a fantastic pianist, and we were lucky to have her as an accompanist for both eurythmy and chorus for many years, and she also taught German and English skills and I think some handcraft stuff. Who knows? Irene was incredible. She helped put together these quilts that we took to Ethiopia. So anyway, I miss her, and I dedicate this exercise to her. I'm not sure whether she'll be pleased that I'm doing that, but anyway, I will. It's a vocal chordal exercise, and you might say that it's kind of a study in vowels. So it doesn't mean anything. By Mozart this year. I found one and I thought, oh, we should do a little set of Mozart. I had great ideas of doing 4 or 5, but you know, that's how I am. So this first one, amazingly enough, was written by Mozart when he was 12 years old. He wrote a short mass, 6 movements. This is from the last movement, the Agnus Dei, and this is the second half of that movement, the Dona Nobis Pacem part of it. It's really an extraordinary feeling to perform a piece by this beloved composer that he wrote when he was a child. It's a perfect blend of sort of the innocence and the charm, and it's quintessential Mozart, even though he was just a little kid. Dona Nobis.
La la la
piece. It's secular. It was composed by Mozart 15 years later when he was 27. But when he was just a boy of 7, he was not aware of the fact that there was an Italian poet named Pietro Metastasio. How was that, Roberto? Who wrote a canzonetta called La Partenza. And one can assume that the music that he wrote for that poem was not too memorable, because the piece was set again by many other composers over the years, most notably by Mozart and Beethoven, and those are the settings that have survived today. A canzonetta means a secular vocal composition. So we've been really fortunate this semester to have an exchange student from Italy, Roberto Canto, at our school, and he's been guiding us in our understanding and correct, we hope, pronunciation of the Italian. Mr. Whitney, do we have a solution?
Yeah.
Is it a
The
telephone?
old phone fits it.
There's always one thing that you forget. And we needed something, so now we're going to do it with the phone. Here we go. But before we sing our final piece, I want to thank you for being a supportive, wonderfully attentive audience. We really enjoyed bringing this music to you this evening, and we encourage you to join us in some conversation and greet the singers afterwards at this lovely reception. Thanks to Katie Capelli for helping me put it all together. So here's the part I forgot. Our last piece is a really beautiful setting of William Blake's famous poem, The Tiger. It was written in 1794. And almost 200 years later, a choral conductor and composer, Sherry Porterfield from Kansas, chose to set this piece to music. She now lives in Texas, and it's really a wonderful work that she's pulled together. I love bringing settings of poetry to the students to sing, because as you spend many, many rehearsals working on the notes and on the text, the poem begins to deepen into you, and you get a sense of what it's really all about. And I think you have a treat coming when you hear what they are able to do with this piece. I've asked 3 of our students to read the poem in the entirety because this setting only includes 4 verses. We had it beautifully typed out, but since it isn't, we're going to do it as Molly's got it there.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame that beautiful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire?
And what shoulder and what art could twist this muse of thy heart? When thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp, dare its deadly terrors clasp?
What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dead grasp, dare its deadly terrors grasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the land make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry?
Thank you.